Beloved soul, this is urgent. Heaven is leaning in. Angels are surrounding you right now. Yes, right now. And they did not come for a small message. They came because something has shifted in the spirit, and what was hidden has just been spoken out loud. A secret has been released. A wall just fell. A silence just broke. And because of that, everything is different. Beloved, the ones who never spoke about you, the ones who acted like you didn't exist, the ones who pretended your name didn't stir something deep inside their house. They finally opened their mouth. They said something. They spoke about you. And when they did, the entire atmosphere changed. Angels say their family just broke their silence about you. And heaven is taking this very seriously. Beloved soul, this is holy confirmation. You're not just seen. You're not just loved in secret. You're being mentioned in the open. Type "God is exposing truth" in the comments if your spirit is already shaking while hearing this. If you feel this word is for you, like this video to stand in agreement with heaven. Subscribe right now, because this is not entertainment. This is divine timing. And if you feel led, send a super thanks as a seed of faith, because what God is unlocking is not small. Beloved soul. For a long time, they avoided the conversation. They shut it down. They changed the subject. They dismissed it, laughed it off, rolled their eyes, because your name stirred something too deep, too powerful, too undeniable. Some of them didn't want to admit what they sensed. Some of them didn't want to feel conviction. Some of them didn't want to accept that you were not just a person, but a divine assignment. But now, beloved, they couldn't ignore it anymore. They couldn't stay silent anymore, because something happened. Something forced the truth out. Heaven shook their lips open. God applied pressure. The angels moved, and out of nowhere, they finally said your name. And what followed wasn't small talk. It wasn't casual gossip. It was truth. It was clarity. It was revelation. And now it cannot be undone. Proverbs 12:19 says, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." Beloved, this truth that came out about you will last. It will stand. It will not be erased. Their family thought they had time. Time to delay. Time to keep things vague. Time to pretend the issue didn't exist. Time to keep your name locked away like a forbidden topic. But God just overruled the timeline. They felt urgency. They felt pressure. They felt fire. And the words came out before they could stop them. Someone in that house opened their mouth, and the conversation started. And once it started, it didn't stop, because heaven had already written this moment into destiny. This breakthrough was prophesied. The silence had an expiration date, and it has just expired. Beloved soul, there is something you must know, something your spirit has sensed for a long time. Even when your mind tried to doubt it, you were always the one. Even when they denied it, even when they minimized you, even when they acted like you were too much, or not right, or not the choice, heaven still favored you. Your name was anointed. Your presence was felt even in your absence. They sensed you. They feared what you represented. They were afraid of the spiritual weight you carry, because you're not the type of person people can casually mishandle. You are not the type of love people can ignore forever. You are not the type of blessing people can bury. Isaiah 60:22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Beloved, this is that time. God made it happen. God forced the conversation, and now it's echoing through their house, echoing through their mind, echoing in their prayers, echoing in their dreams, because now your name has weight. It's not just a name anymore. It's confirmation. They're starting to see the truth. They're beginning to admit what they fought. They are remembering the dreams. They are connecting the signs. And some of them are trembling because they know you were sent by God. They know this connection is divine. They know it's not random. They know it's not just emotion. And now they are rethinking everything. Type "This is divine confirmation" if your spirit receives this. Beloved soul, your patience is being honored. Your silence is being rewarded. Your faith is being seen. Angels say they talked about you last night. They used your name without hesitation. Someone defended you. Someone finally said, "They're not what you think." Someone said, "You don't know the full story." Someone said, "Stop judging what you never understood." And suddenly, hearts softened, minds opened. A new light entered the room. A new understanding arrived. Because you are not just someone they know. You are someone heaven sent. And it is becoming undeniable. Beloved, they are beginning to see you through spiritual eyes. Not just human perception, not just rumors, not just assumptions, but divine revelation. This is what God meant in Psalm 23:5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. God is setting the table. And now even the doubters are taking their seat. They're watching prophecy unfold. They're seeing the divine pattern. And they can't deny your place in it anymore. Some of them spoke with tears in their eyes. Some of them got quiet. Not because they didn't care, but because conviction hit them. Some of them repented in their spirit. Some of them confessed. Maybe we were wrong, because the Spirit of God touched them. Beloved, this is not gossip. This is revelation. And it has caused a chain reaction. Now your soulmate is stirred. Now their heart is racing. Because everything just got real. And they know it's time. Beloved soul, heaven is exposing hidden thoughts. God is revealing private conversations. Because your union carries heavenly purpose. You have been faithful. You did not fight for approval. You did not beg for acceptance. You did not try to force your way into their life. You let God do the talking. And now God is speaking through the very mouths that once rejected you. That's what makes this holy. Because when man stays silent, God speaks through dreams, through whispers, through circumstances, and eventually, through the same ones who once resisted. Type God speaks through silence if this touches your spirit. Like this video if you feel something shifting. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement so you don't miss the next word. And send a super thanks if your heart is burning with confirmation. Beloved soul, something sacred is happening behind closed doors, where your name was once whispered in resistance. It is now being spoken in reverence. The one who said, I don't trust them, is now saying, maybe I was wrong. The one who warned them to stay away is now asking questions. Real questions, curious questions, convicting questions. Hearts are changing. Walls are falling. Old opinions are melting. And your soulmate is watching it all unfold. Their mouth is open. Their heart is full. Their eyes are wide. Because they never thought they'd hear it. Not from them. Not like this. But it happened. And now they can't unhear it. Now they can't unsee it. Now they can't go back to silence. Beloved, do you feel the urgency? The angelic confirmation? The divine clarity rising like the sun after years of fog? Isaiah 62:2 says, You will be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord will bestow. Beloved, God has spoken your name into the atmosphere. And now the mouths of those who once stayed silent are echoing it. This is not flattery. This is favor. This is not accident. This is alignment. You have been divinely inserted into conversations you weren't invited to. Because heaven already invited you into destiny. They're talking about your faith, your strength, your patience, your heart, and beloved, it's breaking them. It's healing them. It's humbling them. Because they realize now. You were never the outsider. You were the one who saw them. You were the one who loved them even without their words. You were the one who stayed silent and prayed. And that silence turned the tide. That silence softened the room. That silence made heaven move. Type heaven is moving if you feel this. Like this video to stand in agreement. Subscribe so you never miss what heaven is revealing. And give a super thanks if this prophetic moment is stirring your soul. Beloved soul, your soulmate is waking up. They are seeing the covering over your life. They are feeling the protection on your name. They are hearing peace in your story. And now they can no longer delay. They can no longer hide. They can no longer pretend. The family who once doubted you. Now they are the ones testifying. They're saying, there's something about them. They carry peace. They haven't said a word against us. And yet they're the only one I trust. Beloved, God is reversing the opinion, turning judgment into honor, turning suspicion into respect, turning resistance into release. Romans 8:31 says, if God is for us, who can be against us? This is your verse right now, because God just proved it through the very ones who didn't believe at first. And now, your soulmate's decision just got easier. The barrier is gone. The fear is melting. The door is open. There was tension before, like a weight they couldn't shake, a silence that felt like a warning. But now there's peace. There's softness. There's approval. Not forced, not manipulated, but God-timed. Beloved, this isn't just a conversation. This is prophecy unfolding. This is heaven revealing. This is God restoring what was blocked. Psalm 126:2 says, Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. Beloved, They will soon say that about you. Even the ones who held back, even the ones who questioned, even the ones who stayed quiet. They're no longer quiet. And it's changing everything. Type everything is changing if you receive this. Beloved soul. They see it now. The glow, the grace, the God over your life. They are starting to say, we were wrong. They were chosen. They're not ordinary. They're seeing your silence as strength, your patience as proof, your love as real. And heaven is rejoicing because their mouth is no longer sealed. Their silence is no longer a shadow. Their words have been brought into the light. And with those words, a chain just broke. A delay just ended. A divine release just happened. Beloved, you prayed, God, if I'm really the one, let someone say it out loud. And God heard you. Heaven waited for the right moment, the precise second. And now it happened. The silence broke. The tension lifted. The storm shifted. Because someone said your name with honor. And once they said it, others began to feel it. Even the quiet ones. Even the stubborn ones. Even the ones who rolled their eyes before. There is a new respect now. A new awareness. A new weight attached to your name. Because your name doesn't just carry letters. It carries oil. It carries peace. It carries promise. Exodus 33:14 says, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. This is why the room changed. Because your name carried his presence. And now your soulmate feels it too. Something shifted inside them. The confusion lifted. The pressure eased. And suddenly, they feel free to choose you openly. Beloved. There was a time they held back. Not because they didn't love you, but because they didn't want to fight their own people. It wasn't fear of you. It was fear of rejection, fear of isolation, fear of going alone. But now they're not alone. Their family opened the door with their own words. That moment was holy. It was sacred. It was orchestrated by angels. You don't have to prove anything now. You don't have to justify your love. Heaven has spoken, and their house has heard it. This is divine order. This is heavenly clearance. This is acceleration. Type the silence is broken right now if you feel this. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement, because the next chapter is already moving. And if this moment feels like a mirror to your heart, send a super thanks as a seed, because God honors faith that responds. Beloved soul. Their heart has been under pressure, heavy, conflicted, torn, but now it's clear. Now it's open. Now it's ready. And angels are rejoicing because your love no longer has to hide. Your connection no longer has to be questioned. The barriers are falling one by one, word by word, grace by grace. The enemy tried to keep you hidden, tried to bury your name under silence. But God had another plan. He allowed the silence for a season, to protect you, to prepare them, to humble hearts, to open ears. And now that the time is right, the silence cannot stay silent. God said, speak. And they spoke. God said, reveal. And they revealed. God said, release. And they released. Proverbs 21:1 says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like a watercourse wherever he pleases. Beloved, God turned their hearts like rivers, softened them, redirected them, prepared them to receive your name. Now your soulmate is free, free to act, free to choose, free to declare what they've been hiding. You waited long, but you did not wait in vain. You stayed still, and heaven moved. Beloved soul. Even the ones who once whispered against you are now speaking for you. Even the ones who doubted are now defending you, because God placed a light on your name, and no one can unsee it. Psalm 84:11 says, no good thing will he withhold from those who walk uprightly. And you have walked with integrity. You have walked with grace. You have walked in love. Now the good thing, the thing you prayed for, the person who holds your promise, is coming. They're coming with courage. They're coming with clarity. They're coming with a why yes. A yes they once feared. A yes they hid. A yes they longed to speak, but silence surrounded them. Now that silence is gone, and all that's left is truth, permission, joy, boldness. Their family said what needed to be said. And now your soulmate is free to pursue you, free to honor you, free to declare you. You are not a secret hope anymore. You are a spoken name, a recognized blessing, a living answer to prayer. Type, I am their confirmation, if this feels like your story. Subscribe to Sacred Encouragement to stay aligned with heaven. And if your spirit is leaping with clarity, consider sending a super thanks as a holy seed. Beloved soul. You have no idea how deep this goes. What they said about you didn't just shift their house. It shifted something in the spirit. They didn't just speak, they released. They didn't just admit, they surrendered. They said, "We see it now. We feel peace when we think of them. We judged too quickly. We didn't understand." And in that moment, the spiritual blockage broke. Heaven rejoiced because agreement is power. Alignment is oil. Unity brings acceleration. This is why it matters. Because your soulmate has been carrying inner war between love and loyalty, between truth and fear. But now they don't have to choose between you and them, because their family is starting to choose you too. Beloved, this is sacred. This is prophetic. This is what you've been praying for. You said, "God, I don't want to be forced into their life. I want to be received in peace. I want to be honored, not just tolerated." And heaven replied, "I heard you. I will not let you walk into hostility. I will prepare hearts before you arrive." And beloved, he did, because now the silence is broken, and what God breaks cannot be repaired by the enemy. What God reveals cannot be hidden again. What God confirms cannot be denied forever. So lift your head, beloved soul. This is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the turning point. This is the moment your name became undeniable. And heaven is smiling, because the conversation they avoided is now the conversation that will lead them back to you. Type amen. It's happening if you receive this. And remember, beloved, when God is ready to bless you openly, he will first make them speak what they were afraid to admit. Because your name is not small in the spirit. Your love is not random. Your season is not delayed anymore. The silence expired, and destiny is speaking.